Good morning, everybody, from Elbow Lake, Minnesota. For the Red River Farm Network, I'm Megan Overby with our first Pioneer Agronomy update of the season. And we're at Red River Marketing, joined with a sales associate, Leah Johnson. And Leah, let's dive right into it. Some farmers been able to get out there and plant before the snow and rain.
Yes, so prior to last week's somewhat large rain event here, we are probably teetering around that 4-inch average with all the precip last week. We did get quite a bit of small grain in the ground in this local geography, which is wonderful. A lot of wheat got seeded, a lot of seed bed preparation got done. As far as corn and soybeans, no activity yet, but we're just kind of in a waiting limbo land since we're dealing with some snow today.
And so the snow that we're getting now, coupled with the rain that you got last week, has that helped improve the moisture situation tremendously?
Oh, I think so. I think that rain that came slow really pulled out more frost than we probably didn't know we still had in the ground. I would say for us locally, there's a lot of enthusiasm. We were very, very dry last fall. Not a lot of tile lines were moving. So we'll move this water and we'll be raring to go. No reason to panic yet.
So once this snow that we have on the ground sinks in, our moisture situation on that top part of the soil gets a little bit better. Where do farmers go from here? Because they will be eager to plant some corn or soybeans.
Yes, locally here we've had really, really positive experiences planting soybeans early. It's really going to depend on a field-by-field basis. The planter we're standing next to right now, we don't even have discs in. We're going to just see field by field where we can go first, and we're going to plant beans or we're going to plant corn. We feel that early planting soybeans has yielded extreme return on investment locally here. And for corn, we've had some issues with maybe pushing corn on corn planting a little too soon. So having that option to plant soybeans early is just an added benefit that we can kind of mess around with. Only takes about an hour and a half or so if you got the help to switch these planters over. Or if you got two planters, you can have one doing one crop, one doing another. We're ready.
Yes, well, like you said, be patient out there. We do have some time. Again, Leah Johnson with Red River Marketing, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And now let's bring Pioneer Field agronomist Clyde Tiffany into the picture. And Clyde, let's expand off of what Leah was just talking about. Farmers, for the most part, have a plan, but we can adjust those plans as we get those planters into the fields, can't we?
Yeah, we're in mid-April, and frankly, I don't have a lot of concern at this point about which crop they plant first now. I know that traditional thinking would be plant corn first, and usually that's true, but the ability of beans to tolerate some of these cold, wet conditions, especially now that we have seed treatments, really enhances the capability to plant it early. And the reason you want to plant it early is to build that factory before you start getting into the middle of summer, so you have a bigger vegetative plant to start producing more photosynthate to put into the beans. And beans are tougher than people give them credit for. Even though the growing point does come above the ground when it pushes the cotyledons up, and it's right between the cotyledons, they usually aren't frosted as badly because they're closer to the ground as the thin corn tissue that sits up higher. So sometimes we'll see beans and corn both up at the same time. Corn tissue actually may look worse than the bean tissue, and that those cotyledons also have some salt in them. They're fleshy, they are waxy, they don't frost as easily. So the risk is not as much. Never say never. You know, we're going to end up with some time when somebody's going to have to replant them. The good news with beans, they're pretty forgiving, and so if you get a chance and your field is ready to go to corn, I'd probably plant corn. But if it's not ready and the bean field is ready to go, I'd plant some beans as we get into the end of April.
And so, Clyde, conditions were pretty warm before we got a little bit of rain and snow. Now that we have that moisture in the ground, what's your recommendation on using a Preemerge?
Well, a pre-emerge herbicide is really recommended on almost any of our herbicide systems. We had some folks that say, you know what, I can get by, I can just come back in with a post-emerge herbicide and clean everything up. But the pre-emerge always buys you time, and it also takes out those early weeds that are coming in. It gives you another mode of action. So regardless of whether you're in Roundup Ready to Extends, whether you're in Liberties, or whether you're in the Enlist system on beans, I'd be using a pre. And I'd be using a pre on corn too. And as you alluded to with the moisture, they should activate a little bit quicker.
Well, Clyde, as we wrap up our segment of the video, what are some final thoughts that you have?
I think at this stage of the game, we're still in great shape, as Leah talked about, on timing. Just make sure that the planters are ready to go. Check out all the meters. Make sure that all the monitors are working. Make sure that it runs level when you're in the field. Closing wheels, make sure that they're aligned well. The main thing is open up the manual, take a look at them. Most people have time. They have nice shops to work in now. So if you start planting corn end of April, first week of May, you get the majority of yield. Just don't rush it. Don't go out there when those soils are too wet.
Well, again, Clyde Tiffany, Pioneer Field Agronomist, and we'll bring in one more Red River marketing folk here. We have Adam Thormenson. And Adam, your specialty area here is in some of that aerial imaging and drone work, correct?
Yep. This is a service that we offer here at Red River Marketing. It is drone services, drone flights, and everything like that. We have 2 Mavic Pro 2s here offered at Red River Marketing, and what we can do with this is the app Drone Deploy. We go through that, and with that we can cover you through the whole season, through the whole planting season, throughout the whole growing season. From the start with Drone Deploy, we use it's Corteva flight through Drone Deploy. We do stand counts with that, and it can take pictures throughout the whole field, individualizing plants throughout everything, and kind of telling where you have problem spots with population coming up. And after that, we can do field health imagery and throughout your whole field. And finally, after that, we can do a panoramic view, which we can do in 5 minutes. I tell the drone to pop up in the field. It takes a 360 video of your whole field, and it brings it back to me, and I can send you the link, and you can see a whole aerial view of your whole field as it comes in.
Well, and obviously that's one benefit is you can see more from the air than you can walking on foot and cover a lot more ground. And so, for farmers maybe interested in trying this new technology, any other benefits?
Yeah, a whole lot of other benefits. Kind of like to see if let's say there's a wind event, because it kind of seems like we always get a wind event in this area. It always happens. Like if they want to see how their corn's doing, and if it's even still standing up there and just checking for green snap, they can always just give us a call and we can head out there. Or let's say they got ditches running through their fields. You think they have a beaver problem, and you can go find a beaver dam stuck in their field, and you can back it with all the backed up water. We can make sure they can go take care of that and clean it out.
Yes. Well, again, you can find Red River Marketing on Facebook and Twitter. And again, Adam Thormenson joining me, along with Leah Johnson, Clyde Tiffany, Field Agronomist. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This is the Pioneer Agronomy Update on the Red River Farm Network.